Round of applause for Verena on the piano. Good morning, happy Sunday, feliz Dia de los Muertos. We are here today at Althea in this beautiful space. I have just a few announcements. If you brought in any pictures, feel free to go ahead and bring them up and add them to the ofrenda. Um, Remember to silence the cell phones. Today we're listening for the voices of the ancestors anyways, so all right. As a community founded on prayer, we will have a prayer partner available today in Nona's Nook, formerly known as Darwin's Den, down the hall this way. Today, our prayer partner is Lee Peterson. There's Lee. She'll be here. She's wonderful. Remember, you can also submit prayer requests with those sheets right in front of you in the pockets, and also online. Today's beautiful flowers were donated by Bouquets on 11th and Bannock. And that is it. All right, now I will hand it over to Reverend Christina.
Good morning. It's so lovely to see everyone. I love this time of year. Isn't it just beautiful and colorful and heartfelt? Welcome to Althea. Welcome to those of you online. We're a new thought, non-denominational center steeped in affirmative prayer, oneness, and meditation. These teachings are thousands of years old. However, this building that was founded by four amazing women was built 100 years ago. We honor the oneness in all. We celebrate all races, all diversity, all sexual orientations, all political thoughts, all religions, all faiths, even those that are seeking a faith. We welcome you. And anyone that is new here for the first time, please stand up so we may honor you. We have a small gift. And welcome. And we honor and love all our teenagers and kids. Just welcome. And there's goodies in the dining hall. Meet with everyone with community. Feel free to ask us any questions. And thank you. And now, Dan, this is a different service, as you can tell. But Danny, who is amazing, been a friend to Althea for how many years have been coming here, Danny? 11 years. Danny is amazing, and he is going to take us through a sacred prayer of the four directions. So join us. Thank you, Danny.
For those who don't have never met me,
Oh, let's wait. Let's fix the microphone.
for those who've never met me, my worked with Sisters of Color who utilize the space here and many years. But for 30 years, I've been an Aztec dancer, and I do celebrate Muertos. It's been 31 years, my first Muertos. So I'm going to give a little talk about it. But what we always do in our tradition is to open up sacred space. We do that with the conch shell. We recognize the shell has sort of a circle, but it doesn't complete the circle, so it's a spiral. It gets bigger and bigger. And that linear and circular thought and process, they come together in there. So we have them all on our fingertips and on our toes. So we're always connected to the spirals of the universe and the microscopic ones of the plants. These beautiful things. So you're welcome to stand with me. We face to the east where the sun rises. And then we'll face to the west. We'll turn I'll blow the shell 2 times in each direction. And then I'll say the words in the Nahuatl language, and they represent where the direction of where the light comes, and this is a male direction, and then to the west, the female direction, the direction of the reflection and letting go. And then we'll face to the north, where the clan, where the ancestors live, and then to the south is Huitzilampa, where the Huitzilin, the hummingbirds, are like the children in the future. And then we'll end that, we'll center ourselves, Father Sky, Mother Earth, Él es Dios.
Now, as you're able, please stand up one more time and join me in saying Althea's statement of being. Together we say, God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God and are ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Now please join Verena as we sing the face of God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love.
Thank you, Verena. Verena's back. Woo! Verena, tell everyone about yourself and what you've been up to. I know you have she's on YouTube as well in a song with Hazel Miller. So
Yes, that is correct. Lots of things. I'm from Mexico City, and I moved here in 2020, and for 8 months, I wasn't able to make music with, or work, I guess, which was really hard because I couldn't like share a stage with anyone. And being back is really beautiful because got the visa, yay! Um, thank you, thank you. And yeah, I have music on Spotify, all the streaming platforms, as Verena, just Verena. It's like Serena, but with the V. And yeah, and I have a band called Ojo de Luna, Ojodeluna. And this day is really special because one of our co-founders, one of my best friends, passed away this year, and we've been trying to kind of get back into really, you know, keep making music for him every time we do. His name was Hayden Davis, and every time I make music, it's for him now. So yeah, thank you.
And I do love these readings. They're really two of them today. They're beautiful. I love today being what it is. The first reading is from ancient times, ancient India, Hinduism, and it's relevant to today. And Miss Melinda Kramer, one of the founders of this building, of this church. So a more closer perspective, but the same perspective. And I did make a little change to it. Instead of using the word life, I'm using the word true self, because as we see, our bodies pass. And yet, the reading number one from Sri Aurobindo, who was an Indian yogi and author of The Life Divine. The first and most important thing is to know that our true self is one and immortal. Only the forms, countless in number, are transient and brittle. The true self, everlasting, is independent of any form, but manifests itself in all forms. Our true self then does not die, but the forms are dissolved. And again, reading number 2 from Melinda Kramer. As you become conscious of eternal life and truth, you know that there is no death. You will know that your true self is ever your true self and cannot die, and suffering will flee from you. Begin your day's work with acknowledgement of the omnipresence of God. Oh, good. The omnipresence of God. Good.
I'm going to. This song is one that I actually wrote for Hayden, and we play together a lot. And it also talks about just loving someone so much. And today is about celebrating how much we love everyone that has left the physical field. So, yeah. So unreal that I get to have you here with me. Touch your face, kiss your lips. I never thought it could be this easy, 'cause I'm not scared of what comes next. What if I stay a little longer and we forget about the world outside? What if I could lay here with you forever? Have I completely lost my mind? Thought it'd be easier to climb a million stairs to the sun, touch it with my fingers and take a piece for myself, then to fall asleep near someone who makes it easier to breathe. Seems impossible to think that I'm the girl of your dreams, the girl of your dreams. So unreal that I can't stop staring at the picture that I took of you last night. Looking eyes has never felt so natural. So unreal that I get to be with you when the night comes. Da 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 da. No. What if I stay a little longer and we forget about the world outside? What if I could lay here with you forever? Have I completely lost my mind? Thought it'd be easier to climb a million stairs to the sun, touch it with my fingers and take a piece for myself, then to fall asleep near someone who makes it easier to breathe. Seems impossible to think that I'm the girl of your dreams. I wrote you the song in life, but now I ask if you still love me. I wrote you this song in life, and you will live forever every time I play and sing these notes, the notes you used to play with me.
beautiful. And nothing moves me like music myself. I want to thank you all. I have put together a small PowerPoint to share some imagery, and I really honored to be back here again. Again, my name is Daniel Stang de Jaramillo. My paternal grandparents, Elmer, Richard, and Regina, are Irish descent. Clan Cochran came from Baltimore. My mother's maternal parents, Jaramillo and Rodarte family, from Trinidad, Colorado, and New Mexico. We never crossed the border crossed us. Mm-hmm. So I got Mexican and Irish, so I tell everyone I'm a leprechaun. So, oops, looks like I did the wrong one button. I was supposed to hit the side button. So I have really had the honor to be able to participate here with Althea for many, many years because, it is a grounding place, a sacred space. And the founders of this place that put that intention, have the feminine energy. And it's been in our society too long, a patriarch that's kind of imbalanced a lot of us. But I think we're finding that. One of the first images I was going to share is sort of the way the Mexica, Azteca is, they see the two, life and death, in this image back to back, sort of the two halves of the same coin. And so beautifully, like the poetry, like the song has said, there really is no death. There is only this transformation. That's what we see it. And in fact, the human skull itself, the word in the indigenous language, Mikisli, has been poorly interpreted to mean death. And some of our elders, they say, well, it's not really that way because death means the end of life. And Mikisli does not have that connection. The Mikisli itself is the skull because the head, and if you ever studied the Aztec calendar, all of the symbols of the day symbols are the heads, the head of the dog, the head of the deer, the head of the rabbit, the head. It says the head represents perception. You have your sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. All your five senses are in the head. So the human skull is the human perception. Now, on the surface, we all have a different face, so we see each other in a different sense. But when you peel back the surface, when you go beneath the surface, peel back that face, the skull is what's underneath it. We're all the same underneath. And so the human skull, when we see and we put them on our altars, what they represent is the human perception of that which is a little beneath the surface. And we do that in our spiritual journeys and in our quest to find answers to the mysteries of life, so to speak. We kind of have to take that deeper perspective. And that's where the skull kind of represents. The origin of Day of the Dead was actually more of it was done in a time in August when the monarch butterflies would arrive in Mexico, because the butterfly represents that transformation. And so it was a worm that became, in its cocoon, became a butterfly. And so one of the things that in our language, you heard me when I was blowing the shell, we say ometeo. Ome is our number 2. And so we always have a duality in the aspect. So like here's the image of Mictlantec Putli and Mictlantec Siwat. So it's like a male and a female of the energy of that death or that perception, that underneath what's beneath us. I believe we're as humans, we're kind of stuck on the earth. We think of it as there's still a lot of people that think we're on the flat earth, So, God bless them. But we know that the world as a ball, it's moving, So really those 4 directions, and in the language of Nahuatl, tlampa, the ending is always the path to. So the tlahuistlampa, tlahuis, the light. Sihuatlampa, the path to the woman. Mictlampa is actually when the sun is beneath us. And then Huistlampa is when the sun is above. Because we don't have to go anywhere to traverse the 4 directions. We just can stand in the same place. The Mother Earth will move us through those 4 directions all the time. And so the joining of this two that become one, to us, also in a cosmic sense creates the 4, and that medicine wheel that we're very familiar with. So one of the images I didn't get to share last year, but I talked about it for those who weren't here. One of the kind of a funny joke that the way the native people were telling when the Spaniards were in Mexico 500 years ago, they were teaching their religion, and our ancestors said, well, to us, it doesn't matter how you lived when you die, where you go. It matters how you die. And so how you die is going to determine where you go. Because the Catholic Church wanted to tell us, well, you're either going to die and go to heaven or you're going to go to hell, and the most of us are going to be stuck in purgatory and hopefully somebody to pray for us forever. But our response to that was that, well, we look at it as the way you die is where you go, because people die of many different things, and every day someone is passing and turning on and transforming. So when we see children that are young or someone that has never really gone through their adolescent time, when they pass, we believe that they go to they call it Chichicuahui, is a tree, and the Chichicuauco is the place where this tree holds these boobies that are chichis, is a word for the booby, and the milk of the boobies are just dripping down, and the little babies are just under the tree, and they're just getting the milk, and they're all happy until they return to life again. This is the Chichicuahui. So they did a picture of that in one of the codices later on as they were teaching about it. And that was the first of afterlife that was reserved for those who were young and where they passed. The next one was called Tlalocan. Tlaloc is also known as the Tlali is earth, Oakley is drink. So the rain is called Tlaloc because it's the drink of the earth. And the water, when it comes to the ground, it's masculine in the sky, but it becomes feminine in the water. It becomes Chachilique. And so the Tlalocan is sort of in the waters, the terrestrial waters. And it was said that people who died of a violent, unexpected, maybe they were drowned or struck by lightning, the old times, not a lot of babies made it, not a lot of times the mother would make it. And so also the warriors that died in battle, who would go to defend their people and fight, they were believed to have gone to the Tamawanchan, which is a celestial, where they would say that the warriors became the hummingbirds that helped the sun rise, and the women that died became the helped the sun set in the evening. They called them Siwatateo. And so then most of us, though, that we live a full life, once we get middle age and we've done a lot of things that we came to do, then when we pass, we go to what they call Mictlan. And Mictlan there's sort of a 9 levels of this journey that takes 4 years for our spirit to go through. But there's also starting to shed a light of some of the elders in Mexico, the ancient teachings are coming out, and we're actually learning that these 9 levels of Mictlan are not necessarily about what our spirit goes through. Because our ancestors recognized that death is a mystery, that we don't have the answer to it. These 4 potential afterlives, they were a response to the Spanish insisting to tell us that, oh no, we know, you die, you're going to go to heaven, or you're going to go to heaven. We know this mystery, and we were responding in that way. But these levels of Mictlan are actually a self-discovery, a sort of a process of each step of these 9 levels is a teaching and an exercise in itself of really trying to discover what is the essence of who am I, why am I here. And the first level is the Iscuintlan, is the little dog. So like if you've seen the movie Coco, there's a little dog with them, and then they always told them, well, there's a little dog that's going to guide you. And so people thought, well, that also means that you got to be nice to the dog, because if you're abusive to animals, you're not going to get a guide, and then you're going to really have trouble when you pass. But really, the dog in our language, Xoloscuintli, these are the hairless dogs. And the word Xolo is also a synonymous for companion. We have a phenomenon, the Tamawanchan, for example, is actually the study of the astral, studying the stars. So we created great calendars. They say today that Mayans have the most exact calendar, but we still don't use it. I don't understand why that is. But we do, we recognize in the east, there's the morning star. So we call it Tlahuizcapantecutli, he's a great warrior. But in the evening, the same star is called Xolo. And the Xolo is an image of, he's kind of like eyeball hanging out and his hands are twisted and he's deformed. And they're like these opposite twins. Like the one's a great warrior and the one is a disabled. But it's actually the same planet. And in ourselves, we have parts of us that want to be the ego that wants to be great, but then there's also the part of us that feels like we're never adequate enough, you know. And so the sholo is the companion, the dog, and our sholo is our consciousness, you know. Your consciousness and the way that you speak to yourself is so important, because when you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, they're not gonna like me, you're beating yourself, you're punishing your sholo, you're punishing that dog. And if you continue to do that, you can't even go to the next level, to go to the tepe monenitlan. And all of these levels, of course, I'd be here all day trying to give you the whole story, so but it really was about that. Like Tlalocan itself was also not necessarily an afterlife place as much as it was a school about the water, studying the material things of the water and how the material world and the science of biology and ecology that we do today is done that. So one of the images I shared this last year too is that our indigenous philosophy looked at the 4 elements, 4 seasons, and they recognized 4 as a cosmic sort of glue, a cosmic model, so to speak, a structure that has everything contains. We say that our body is the earth, and our blood is the water, and our breath is the air, and then our spirit is the fire. We sing that in that sweat. Tierra es mi cuerpo, y agua es mi sangre, aire mi aliento, y fuego mi espíritu. So we're always trying to bring, you know, all these 4 elements together in all structures of life, from simple to complex forms, have those 4 elements within them. And so instead of us always thinking of the body as a shell, or the soul inhabits the body, and that's sort of where we get from the idea, you know, this is the only life you get, and then when your soul goes, it's released. Well, there's also the concept that your soul is what's permanent, and of course your body inhabits the soul. And so that, you know, so then there's this like forever me. If I die wearing this shirt, you know, my little ghostie's gonna be going around with this shirt on her. And it's like when instead of just the simple 2, maybe it's a little deeper. Maybe there's actually 4 animistic forces, 4 spirits. And they did this illustration in a book that wasn't burned, that was able to be conserved, that showed, it's kind of abstract art piece. I think it's really neat. But it shows, of course, the skin of the human is removed, because we're talking about beneath the surface. And they're showing that from the head right here is like a serpent coming up. And their word there is tonali. Tonali is what we call the conscious mind, consciousness. Then out of lower down where his knees bent, so it's coming up another snake, and it's called ihiotl. And ihio is breath, so ihiotl is the emotional spirit, the emotional body. In our gut, in our lower abdomen, that's where we really feel our emotions. You feel butterflies, or you feel nervous because you got to talk in front of a bunch of people, or, you know. And so your emotional things are in here. Your mental perception of what is outside is coming in here. And then the 2 of those are combining into the corazón. So that third in the middle, teyolia. Yolo is heart, so teyolia, the essence within my heart. And as it comes out, you notice it has a head with a hat. This is a very popular symbol of Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is the essence of our personality, the way that we bring into the world. From our heart, we manifest into the world. And that's why he has the hand. He has that hand out there. The hand is the instrument through which we are able to bring things, transform elements of life into our art, into our things. And so then the teolia, of course, is where we're really always expressing ourselves. And that's why he's kind of got his jawbones kind of touching on the bottom there, because as we speak, those things that come from our heart are brought into the world as well. So then on the back, there's like, it's kind of twisted, that tailbone or the backbone is coming up, has another energy, and he also has a hand. But now they didn't put the name now because there's some teachers that are disagreeing in Mexico about whether he represents the Nagual or he represents the Shokoa, because the Shokoa is another, the fire serpent. And oddly, the Kundalini, translated, means fire serpent, and the way that our ancestors conceived that all of us have these four energies, and the way they come about is from Ometeor is two energies that come in and form a new one. So it's through sex. A woman is pregnant and has new conception. Her body releases a hormone that they proved. They actually was a scientist, a woman scientist that isolated that hormone. That's what created the birth control pill, right? And so when that hormone is released, the Earth, the Mother Earth, receives that message and it sends that spark, boom, that heartbeat, boom, boom. So that heartbeat is that teolia. But then the body has to form the arms and the head, and the DNA tells it how to build itself. When the brain forms in the third trimester, so possibly the heart activates the brain. It sends out a signal we haven't even looked for that goes to the fire of the sun. And then the sun sends the tonali. And the tonali comes down into the consciousness. Then the baby, now it has this, it can hear and it can sense what's going on in there. And then when it turns itself around, from the moon, the naguales are spinning around the moon, they affect the water, right? And so the nagual hits the baby on the tailbone, boom, it drops and the water comes out. And so then when the baby leaves the cave, the mama starts pushing, then the air comes in, that first breath, and it seats itself down in the lower region that becomes the Ichiote. And so we have those four energies, and the nagual, or perhaps the kundalini, is something we're less able to really access. And for that reason, they kind of put a skull on him. It's really beneath the surface. It's not something that we can actually, I like to think of it as the Tao. Though if you can explain it, it's not really the Tao, right? It's something unexplainable. And the word nagual has been used in a lot of writings, historians that say a person shapeshifted into an animal, and they were like, how did you do that? They're like, well, that was his nagual. Because natives always had their animal spirits, that were connected to them. So there's still a little debate around people about whether that in that image, does it represent the nagual? Does it represent the kundalini? Which is the kundalini, of course, is the process of awakening that power within us, that understanding that purpose that we came for. So still a mystery, but these are just thoughts and ideas that I like to share, and what we think about when we come to Muertos, and we're putting our consciousness into that deeper realm, trying to understand how is this all fitting together, what is the way that we're honoring those of the past, and doing such, we're bringing in the balance, we're bringing the harmony to not only those who have come before, but ourselves, and where we're going to be, and how we're going to be remembered, and how we're going to fit into the world itself. So this version of from the Mayans of the yin yang, it's sort of called also the cosmic butterfly. Kind of, you notice it has the antennas of the butterfly, because the most concrete respect that we could think about afterlife is that the transformation, and a butterfly represents that transformation in such a beautiful way. And so that's why a lot of that you'll see in the Dia de los Muertos, the butterflies, and they were the ones that traveled down to Michoacan, to the forest. So that is really what we're transforming. I think today in our communities that we've seen that the Dia de los Muertos ceremony is kind of like taking over. I heard somebody say they're taking over the world, and they're everywhere. Ever since the movie Coco. Although I had to get mad when I saw that movie. I said, why does he have to show his picture to get out of the land of the dead? Like, can a Mexican get a break? He's got to have his papers even after he's dead. That wasn't too cool, that part of the movie. It was like they're kind of subliminally teaching my kids, they're like, this border, this police state is normal. It's like, come on. And so we got to address those things. But in the sense of our society itself is searching for some transformation. And I think that that's another reason that we're seeing such a prominence in the celebration, and people are really yearning for that transformation, not something we have to wait for that when our last breath leaves us and when our conscious returns to the sun and when our heartbeat just grounds out to the earth and our water evaporates into the ether. But we want to see that transformation now. And the only way we're going to really have that is as we come together, because the human beings are an organ of the planet. We're all part of this earth, and when we work together, we're healthy, we're loving, and we're able to do that. So I invite all of us to do that, to really see ourselves in each other and see that reflection, that go a little beneath the surface. We're all the same deep down inside. We all need love, we all need structure, and we all need safety and a place to live and a place to be together. So I appreciate it and thank each and every one of you for all of that you do, because I know that this center is a house that has nurtured that sort of the people that have that desire, that want to see that want to look beneath the surface and really make that connection with each other. And so as we share that with the rest of the world, as we do that more with each other, we'll share that more with the rest of the world. So please do that. Keep it forward. Thank you again, Christina.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much. Love you, brother. Thank you. Well, we are definitely in transformation. My talk today is going to be brief because I know there's a football game and other stuff, and people want to get on with their day. Thank you again for all of you being here for a very special Sunday. But we are transforming. It's beautiful to see that in a lot of ways that is us. We are the butterfly. Our planet's transforming, the world's transforming. Therefore, we are required to rise in consciousness. We're required, and what you might ask if you're new here, what does that mean? Just rise to another state of being. It's time for us to move on from fear, from all the ego-driven, because a lot of stuff of that fear is being pumped to you on purpose. I've shared a couple of times, I've gone out of town, I don't watch anything, 4 or 5 days, no news, and guess who's calm? There's a common denominator there. Not getting wrapped up, taking a break from all the drama, taking a break and allowing ourselves to transform. And this is beautiful. First of all, I want to acknowledge Louise and Kristen. Stand up, come on. They created this. Kristen's in the back. Louise is our board president, and Kristen's our volunteer coordinator and our graphics designer. Thank you all. When I grew up in New Orleans, we celebrate All Saints Day. I grew up around a lot of diversity, mostly Cubano. It wasn't so much Mexican like it is here in Colorado. But we celebrated All Saints Day, and my mom would set an empty plate. And we pulled out all the china to celebrate and pulled out all the pictures. I have some of my ancestors, a friend. I even brought Chief, our dog that passed away about 2 years ago. And I love what you said about the animals, because I heard a story about the Cherokee people honoring their dogs. So I'm going to invite us during this time of grand shifts. A lot of people are afraid. A lot of people are in wonder. A lot of people wonder what's next, what's going on. I wondered this morning what's going on with the weather, because it's supposed to be 78 here, and it's November 2nd. Just saying. Like, what's going on? I'm going to invite you this week, especially with the holidays coming, really think about your ancestors or someone that touched your life. Could be a school teacher that's no longer here. You know, what lessons did they leave you? Because you know what? We're someone's ancestor. Ha-ha. We are. We're the descendants, but think about it this way. We're also ancestors. So what are they trying to tell us? The veil is thin in November. It's very thin to connect with our loved ones. We've all had people that probably left this year. What do they want to tell us? What do you remember? So we find those times of like just having an off day or a challenging day or a day of wonder where you're caring about friends or family or even your community. Think about what the message is. And also that a lot of our ancestors went through a whole lot worse. I still can't get over it. My mom told me in 1973 she couldn't get a credit card without my father. So when I hear some women say things are getting worse for women, no, they're not. No. Sometimes we get to grow from our past. We grow from the challenges of our ancestors, grow from the challenges of some of our ancestors that went through the Civil War, the Depression, the Black Plague, and everything else. We get to grow and glow from it. We get to rise above. We get to triumph and stand strong because we're not alone. How many of you smelled like a parent when you were just minding your business in the house? Yeah. They're not gone. They just shed the form. That's all. They're still here. I smelled my mom 3 days ago, and I felt her energy in my kitchen, and I cried, and with tears of joy. What's the lesson? And when I felt, when she touched my shoulders, because I felt it, it's like, hold on, be strong, because we got this. We got any challenge that's coming up. Even our old pets are probably hanging around watching us and hanging out in the kitchen. Stand in that. We're here to cherish, to thrive, to transform, to grow, to be motivated. And going back to consciousness, what you said, Danny, what are we telling ourselves? I'll leave you with that. What's the conversation you have with yourself? There's a book called Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. I read it over 20 years ago. It's amazing. But it got me thinking, what's the conversation I'm having with me? Because that's the big one. We get to control this. We get to control our heart as the heart develops before the mind. It's time for us to let the heart move us forward into love, into oneness, into joy, into peace, into harmony, because that's our birthright. That's our harmony. That's the oneness, and that's the truth. Let no one tell you any different. God made us for power, for love, for light, to be in community. When you see people worry about food or what food's coming next, or they're worried about getting kicked out of the country, or they're worried about losing a job they've had for 40 years, or they're being worried about being minimalized just because they're a man. A white man, a black man, a white woman, a black woman. Everyone got that little drama. Nope, you say no to that and stand in love. Because that's what our ancestors want us to do. It's time for us to make ourselves proud and the people we love so much so proud. And we get to raise the light in our neighborhood, in our home, and in the world. Because we get to make the choice. And so it is.
Test. Oh, is the mic on?
Where's the one? Hold on.
Diane.
Danny, I turned. Which one is it? Where'd it go?
Hello.
Which one is it?
No sé qué tienen las flores lloronas, las flores del campo santo. No sé qué tienen las flores lloronas, las flores del campo santo, que cuando las mueve el viento llorona, Cuando las mueve el viento, llorona, parece que están llorando. Ay de mí, llorona, llorona, tú eres mi chonca. Ay de mí, llorona, llorona, tú eres mi chonca. Me quitarán de quererte, llorona, pero de olvidarte nunca. Me quitarán de quererte, llorona, pero de olvidarte nunca. A un santo Cristo de fierro, llorona, mis penas le conté yo. A un santo Cristo de fierro, llorona, mis penas le conté yo. ¿Cuáles no serían mis penas, llorona, que el santo Cristo lloró? ¿Cuáles no serían mis penas, llorona, que el santo Cristo lloró? Ay de mí, llorona, llorona, llévame al río. Ay de mí, llorona, 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 llévame al río. Tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío. Tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío.
Thank you, Verena. That was beautiful. Now it's time for our offering and our circulation of abundance. Thank you all that give, knowing everything comes back to you. People always ask, how do they receive more money? I always tell them, give in more time. Because it tells the universe that there is no lack. There's only a consciousness, a belief of lack. So everything comes back to you. And even when I pay my bills, I'm always grateful that I know even my money comes back and give. And here at Althea, we have a prayer that even you can use at home. And together we say, the universe provides all that I need, all that I give. With great joy, I share my prosperity, planting seeds for a world I'm helping manifest. And so it is. And thank you all who continue to give. We're going to be doing upgrades in the dining room. Our new sound system possibly will be here in about a week or two. Yes! Thank you to our donors. Marilyn right there donated a new printer that we needed. So this building's over 100 years old. Thank you. That about 2 years ago, our boiler went out. Let me tell you, that was a chunk of change. So thank you all. It goes to the preservation, also allowing us to help the community, allow great artists to come here as well. And any workshops and events that you do attend here, a portion does go to Althea. And you can scan or go to our website and do reoccurring. All our donations also are tax deductible. And let me see, I'm announcing this. We're doing a holiday pop-up shop. After Thanksgiving, I know I'm tired of going to Target. You know, come on. We got people are tired of getting the same gift from Macy's. And we have so many creative people in our community. I think Heidi's going to have a table. Heidi, raise your hand. She sells beautiful works from Africa. Every Sunday, starting after Thanksgiving, we're going to have tables in the back. Try not to shop during service. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Just wait till after the song and you can shop till you drop. So contact, that's my email, spiritual director at altheacenter.org. I got 5 people. I got a lady that's going to do crystals, one lady that has malas, someone's going to be bringing candles. So every Sunday you get to be a community and shop for Christmas. And Danny, I want to talk to you about your lady who makes beautiful bags. She's indigenous, beautiful work. To start supporting local, isn't that nice? When you guys like a gift that's not just a gift card. Yeah, yes. So we're starting that. Winner's gift is on the 12th. It's, I think, 20 years in the making. So if you want to volunteer, contact Kristen. And it's a gala. We eat, we dance, we have fun, and it is a fundraiser for Althea. You can buy your tickets. And the rest of our events are online. There's a Gone Bath on November 23rd. Like I said, everything you attend, a portion goes to Althea. So thank you so much. So let's stand up. Rena, let there be peace on earth. So I say that again and again all the time. Let there be peace on earth. Let me put it back. Here we go.
Just wanted to make sure it works. Okay.
Yeah.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. One more time. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Grab a hand, let's take a breath. And we ground ourselves for the rest of the day and rest of the week. Whew. Repeat after me. I'm surrounded in love. I live in a safe universe. I'm protected and guided. I am walking in love. And so it is. Amen.